Christians today are called to share the timeless message of Jesus, with a voice that brings hope, healing, and purpose to a world often lost in the pursuit of material wealth, physical well-being, and the complexities of life expectations. His teachings and the inspired words of the Psalms offer profound wisdom, not just as spiritual guidance, but as a blueprint living a life that honors God, addressing the practical needs of humanity. The Bible reminds us that God is not distant from the circumstances of our daily existence, but intimately involved in every aspect of our lives, including finances, health, and the fulfillment of our deepest desires. To speak of Jesus' message is to invite people into a relationship with a God who understands the pressures of making a living, the burdens of financial responsibility, and the struggles of maintaining good health in a world that often equates success with money. We find in Matthew 6 that one cannot serve both God and money, and that our priorities should be rooted in seeking his kingdom first. As Jesus taught, challenges Christians to live with contentment from a place of trust in God's providence rather than the anxiety of accumulation. And it calls us to uplift those who feel trapped by cycles of debt, scarcity, or greed, with the truth that true riches come from integrity, humility, and justice. The oppressed, as Psalm 37 and Proverbs consistently affirm. When it comes to health, the Psalms and Jesus' miracles remind us that God is the physician of our body and our soul. But the Christian approach does not lean on magical thinking. Instead, it combines faith with faithfulness to show how God's design our bodies and minds is interconnected with his word. In Psalm 38, we see David's raw honesty about physical suffering. In Luke, we find the breakthrough of a woman who had been disabled 18 years, set free by Jesus, her once bent body healed. Both stories underline that God is not afraid of our deepest pains, but he also calls us to steward the bodies he's given diligently, to recognize that eating wisely, resting intentionally, and seeking medical care are not a compromise of faith, but a partnership with the divine, just as the Good Samaritan demonstrated love through practical aid. So too, Christians are to blend prayer with action in all areas of life, including health, when addressing the other expectations of life, such as relationships, career, or purpose. The Psalms and Jesus' parables paint a picture of a God who is intimately present in mundane moments and extraordinary callings. They teach that every skill, ambition, and stray thought is to be surrendered at his throne room and examined like a coin in a moment of tension. As Jesus told the disciples to consider the lilies of the field, or encouraged Martha to seek one thing first. Those who follow Christ, the message is clear: money is a tool, not an idol. Health is a gift, not a conquest, and life's purpose is discovered, not invented. As we study verses like Philippians, where joy is found in lack, or Ecclesiastes, where the futility of chasing fleeting things is laid bare, we learn that Christ's message today is not just about eternity. It's about equipping and transforming every part of our now lives. When we tell the sayings of Jesus, the Psalms remind us that he is the source of provision and peace, that he is the host who invites us to his table, even as he challenges us to bread with the hungry, as Papa B.J.R. Clund and Mama Frey explored in their writings. When we uplift message, we don't separate the holy from the everyday, but invite others to see their finances, health, and life choices as sacred spaces where faith in Jesus, the healer and provider, can be lived out daily. His word becomes a compass, not just moments of spiritual drought, but every decision, from buying a loaf of bread to investing in a dream. It's in the honesty of the Psalms, like how David wrestled with doubt or Israel prospered by obeying God's decrees, that we find our own mirror. And when we talk about how to make money in the context of God's teachings, we must emphasize wisdom, generosity, and faithfulness. As Proverbs says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. When we talk about health, we must balance faith with responsible care, like the man at the pool who waited someone to roll the stone away. It's not about negating human effort, but recognizing that all effort must be grounded in spiritual truth. As life's other expectations, whether it's seeking a good marriage, finding peace in chaos, or chasing justice, the Psalms and Jesus reassure us that God is faithful to his promises. We are faithful to them. So let's not be afraid to share the message of Jesus, precisely because it is bold, unyielding, and born from a love that never loses its value in a world that shifts with the tides of trends and troubles. It is message that helps Christians stand firm in their calling to uplift others, to proclaim that money and health and all that we pursue in life are best discovered under the banner of a finite purpose, a purpose that only Jesus can fulfill. Those willing to listen and to obey with their whole hearts, not just their words. When we align our desires with His word, as seen when Joseph in Egypt or David in the wilderness found purpose in serving the presence of the Lord, our callings become not just personal aspirations, but reflections of His divine intention. And remember, as we speak of these matters, we are not only sharing ourselves, we are sharing the one who gave us breath, purpose, and the guarantee that in every area of our lives, He either is the source or the one who redeems what we pursue with a godly mindset. So us take up mission with joy, proclamation, and prayerful hearts, allowing the message of Jesus and the Psalms to be the light that guides us and those He's calling to themselves now and eternity.